What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Critical Overload here. We're going to be talking about a few different horror topics in this video here today. We'll be talking about Scream. We'll be talking about I Know What You Did Last Summer. We'll be talking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And then I'm going to shift into talking about The Substance. So, starting off here with Scream. Scream 8 is allegedly, there's a rumor about Scream 8, allegedly filming this summer. And to that, I just say, wait a minute. This rumor has been making the rounds these past couple of days over on X. I'm not going to say I haven't heard about this rumor because I have heard about it before it made its way onto the internet this past week. However, I again say, wait a minute. Let's have a logical discussion. Would this be smart to announce Scream 8? In the era of social media and the internet being 20 feet tall now, to announce a sequel to a sequel, shoot it this summer, and you haven't even dropped the movie it's a sequel to. Now, what's wrong with that, you might ask? Well, if I'm thinking about it the way I am thinking about it, those of us in this bubble who thrive on horror and horror updates would undoubtedly be aware of who survived Scream 7 before it drops, and that just sounds stupid to think about, unless Scream 8 has nothing to do with Scream 7, completely different narrative, completely different set of characters, same universe, but setting up some type of ultimate final film with Scream 9. You already have a few fans concerned that it won't have any stakes, that being Scream 7, so I can't see an 8th movie filming this summer before 7 drops. An 8th movie being announced in advance is far more digestible, but them fast-tracking it and shooting it the same year back-to-back with 7, I think that would be a disservice to Scream 7's mystery as far as I'm concerned. Now, Mason Gooding did chat with Variety recently about a prosthetic in Scream 7 that got me thinking about something I'm confident it is in relation to. He said there was a prosthetic that sat in the makeup trailer that actually turned my stomach over. You'll know what I'm talking about when you see it, but it's incredible stuff. They really have an incredible effects team over there, and they're working overtime. Now, I will say this. If what I am hearing is true, I think I know what that prosthetic is, and you guys should expect something that is a callback to Casey Becker and Olivia from both Scream and Scream 4. That is all I will share, but I think that is the prosthetic he is referring to, unless there's another prosthetic that I don't know about, but we'll see what comes of this. Now, let's talk about I Know What You Did Last Summer. Jennifer Love Hewitt posted this photo on IG this past week with a caption, "It's giving I Know What You Did." Now, this is the month in which filming is supposed to pick back up. Several of the younger talent, Freddie Prinze Jr. included, have made it clear they're supposed to be filming this month. Could this be her on set, or is she just referencing the raincoat she chose to wear for the picture? I tried to look for confirmation in her comments. Maybe she was saying, yeah, I'm on set, and nothing flat out confirmed that this is her starting filming. But that's the narrative being tossed around online about this photo. People are saying that they can't wait to see Julie James back and the whole 9 yards. As I've stated, seeing these characters back isn't enough for me, and many of you who understand we are in the era of legacy films and shows, Julie James deserves a proper story. Cheap Chris and Sally cameos like from what we got in The Exorcist and Texas Chainsaw, those type of cameos be damned. We don't want that. Freddie Prinze did reassure fans that Julie and Ray are supposed to have scenes, and I look forward to seeing how that plays out. But do you guys think that that photo is our first look at Jennifer Love Hewitt on set of I Know What You Did Last Summer, or do you think she was just referencing the fact that the raincoat was giving I Know What You Did Last Summer? But let's talk about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So Juliet Landau, who stars as Drusilla, sat down with Radio Times expressing that the Buffy sequel should be given a chance and we should see if it's our cup of tea before writing it off. She went on to talk about how high school is still hell. She acknowledged this is the best time to do a sequel show because Buffy's popularity continues to grow, and that right there stuck to me the most, and I'm going to talk about that. Buffy's popularity is in fact growing, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who notices a new channel that grows from reacting to that show. There's so many different channels that react to this series. They're born and they grow from reacting to this series. Hell, Passion of the Nerd, shout out to you, has been covering the series for a while. Check his channel out if you haven't been. But so many channels react to this show. They go into deep discussions about the show. So the popularity is there and it keeps growing. I know the normies just finished the show. Shout out to you. And I think they're also watching Angel still. Capitalizing on that popularity right now is a smart move. You just have to respect the universe that hasn't been touched on screen in over 2 decades. Sarah Michelle Gellar did also recently share that the OG stars are aware of this revival. She shared this at an interview that she was doing with a few different people at the Critics' Choice Awards. She says that the OG stars are at least aware of the revival, but it's just too early to know for certain who will return. I will say to that, definitely do not overcrowd this with a bunch of legacy cast members. Move forward. There is a universe to explore. Buffy has served her time. I get that people would love to see a narrative in which you have an older Buffy. Yes, I get that that's what people would prefer. But to me, in a lot of ways, I feel like it would be a betrayal to the character if you just have her escape this quote-unquote weight of the world that's on her shoulders, now to still tell me narratives about the weight of the world that she no longer has on her shoulders. She's sharing that weight. Let me see some of these different people she shares the weight with. Then you weave in Buffy Summers, which again, it sounds like they're going to try to do by having her be a watcher and guiding this new Slayer who she's sharing the weight of the world with. So if we get legacy stars back, we should not have the legacy stars just overcrowding the narrative. You need to breathe new life into the universe. You need to do something for the wider audience out there who maybe isn't that familiar with Buffy. They just know about Buffy and its existence, but they never really finished the show. Give them a group of characters that they can latch onto for years to come. Even if I fall out of love with the universe, no matter what you do with it, at least the universe can carry on for other people who are still enjoying what you're doing. Now, let's talk about the substance. That's going to be the last thing I talk about here. I wanted to share with you guys that I finally watched The Substance this past Wednesday, and I thought it was absolutely great. One of those rare films that I'd say is like near perfect. Some of the pacing, if you saw my tweet, I did think some of the pacing at times was a bit awful. But Demi Moore, who is one of the most lovely talents in Hollywood history, she absolutely crushed this role. I think this role was made for her. The film's nods to The Shining really won me over. But outside of those amazing performances and the spectacular camera work by our leading stars, The Substance really just did it for me by not being overly preachy with its narrative. It's clear that it has a narrative about women aging, how they have all this pressure on them and the lengths they are going to because of the pressure pushed on them by men and just society in general for them to always look a certain way. Or if you hit this age, you're no longer desirable. We know all of this stuff. And they just executed it in such a way that it was not preachy. It was not overly degrading towards men. You had shitbag men in the film, yes, and it was abundantly clear that these were shitbag men, but the dialogue wasn't always saying men are trash. It was just abundantly clear that these men are trash. This woman, there is nothing wrong with her. She was very lovely. And they told a compelling narrative led by two wonderful stars, and I thought it was a great time. But let me know what you guys think about this down in the comment section below. If you're already, of course, make sure you subscribe, turn on post notification, and never miss a video. In the description, I have links to all of my social media accounts. I am on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can message me there to let me know any movies, news, or reviews you'd like me to cover in the future. And with all that in mind, guys, I will see you in the next video.